Sony makes the right decision when it comes to their PlayStation stuff. Facebook decides that it's tired of itself, and we've got some rumors on a 600-watt CPU. That's a spicy boy, just like today's episode of Hot News. Let's get into the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet, because I'm your Brett host, and you're here enjoying breakfast while I go over all of the tech news with you, which is number one, Sony has now rebranded their PC publishing division to PlayStation PC LLC, and now it's reconfiguring all of the publication that it's done so far, such as with Days Gone. It is now published by PlayStation PC LLC, which means that they are taking very seriously their move to put PlayStation games on PC. This is something that we've been seeing more and more of. Obviously, God of War is coming to PC on January 14th, 2022, and we're expecting more games to kind of trickle out after that. Now, this doesn't mean that Sony's not going to give us timed exclusive of these games on their own console. Like God of War is coming out in almost 4 years after the game came out on the PS4, but hopefully we can get that like cadence a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter, and that we get PC releases much closer to the actual PlayStation 5 release dates, because that would be really great. I would love to see Spider-Man on a PC, absolutely, and Sony would love to see more PlayStations in your hands, which if they sell the games on PC, they get the revenue from that, but then they entice you to play the sequels, so that when you want to play God of War Ragnarok, the only way you're going to be able to do it is buy one of the PlayStation 5s, which they have sold 13.4 million of so far. And they also sold 76 million game units in Q2 of this year, which allowed them to have a 27% boost in game revenue. However, profit was down slightly simply because they're spending so much money on acquisitions and moving things forward. And also, PlayStation 4 sales kind of cratered to almost nothing. I say that. Last year was roughly 5.8 million units. In fiscal year 2021, they sold 700,000 units. Now, this could be to supply chain issues, this could be due to the fact that they weren't producing them as much, or it could be due to the fact that people just didn't want to buy them because you could get a PS5. But seeing as I don't see any PS4s at any retailers, I think it's probably one of the first two. But Sony's still making money hand over fist, trying to bring PlayStation 5s out as fast as possible. How many of those 13 million PlayStations made their way into actual consumer hands? We're not quite sure, but hopefully it's at least half, you know? And if you want to repair the optical drive on a PlayStation console, well, now you are guaranteed that right, thanks to the US Copyright Office actually enabling some right to repair positive legislation, which makes it so that you can access the firmware on systems so long as it's with the intention of fixing the device's optical drive. This is thanks to the Electronic Frontier Foundation and iFixit lobbying for this and trying to get right to repair legislation passed. And I know being able to just repair things for the sake of only repairing the optical drive is a little like it's a small hurdle that we had to get over. You would want to see this implemented for any fixes that you could potentially want to make, but it does allow this to become precedent, and hopefully we could have more and better right to repair legislation happening in the future. Speaking of the future, let's get into the Cryptostonks. I can't see the future. That was a lie. I'm sorry for the lie of a segue. Let's talk about past, because when you're watching this, I've already recorded it anyways. Bitcoin up 5% as of the time of filming to $61.6 thousand. Yesterday when we covered it, it was under 60, so it's recovered quite nicely. Ethereum up 7.3% to sit at $4,200, and Dogecoin up 25% to sit at 30 cents, seeing a surging, hitting a market cap of nearly $40 billion. GameStop up 5.3% on the day as well, closing at $182.85, and AMC up slightly, closing at $35.23. A green day all around, or as the kids are saying on TikTok, it was a bones day. Sometimes things come out of my mouth and I just think, Brett, what have you become? Do you even recognize yourself anymore? When you look in the mirror, do you despise the person you are? Well, Facebook did, and that's why they decided to change their name. Facebook is now called Meta. Okay, great. That's exactly the response that everybody else gave to it. And I mean, just look at this symbol right here. That's if you just go like that, that's exactly what Jeff Bezos flew up into space with. Great symbol, Meta. Love it. Anyways, Mark Zuckerberg now has the Meta Twitter page. You can go to the meta.com website, which will redirect to a Facebook website. However, just know that the Facebook social media platform is not rebranding to Meta. Meta is now like the parent company to Facebook, as well as the other partners such as Instagram, WhatsApp, but not Oculus, which we'll talk about in a second. This is very similar to the fact that Google is owned by a parent company known as Alphabet. It's much the same rebranding structure. With that, we got a few other announcements. You can see that they've rebranded their campus, and they're going to be changing their stock ticker to MVRS on December 1st. Zuckerberg said that this was because there's like confusion going on as to what they are as a company, to which I just have to say there was no confusion. We knew what you were doing. Please stop. Please just stop. They also teased their Project Cambria high-end VR/AR headset, which was originally thought to be called the Oculus Pro. There's no details really on what it is, how much it's going to cost, besides the fact that it's going to be tethered instead of wireless like the Quest 2 currently is, but we could potentially see it shown off sometime soon. We're also getting shown off Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is coming to the Oculus Quest 2. It's not yet known if the version that's coming to VR is the original or the remaster, but we'll have to wait and see when that actually happens. But anybody who's on Oculus is now going to get like their own persona place to go, known as the Horizon Home, where you can make your own like human avatar and you can just be a person in VR. But one of the things that I don't have an article for here, but Facebook made clear in a blog post that they didn't announce on stage, is that they're completely killing the Oculus branding. It's just going to be part of Meta now and not actually be its own thing. So Oculus will be dead soon, and it will just simply be Meta who produces the Quest and the Pro devices. Maybe it will be called the Meta Oculus Pro, but probably not. They're probably just going to get rid of it altogether. They're also adding a mixed reality platform to the Quest device, which will allow them to use their pass-through API to get the cameras that are on the front of the Quest 2 to feed through to create a mixed reality experience in your VR headset, in case that's something that interests you. I really don't like this. They're really pushing for like some very VR focused, like social media, just connectedness experience, and I think that would be a good thing, but it doesn't make sense that Facebook is doing it. I don't trust them as a company. I don't trust Mark Zuckerberg as a CEO to actually handle this properly, especially given all of the information that's come out about his decisions as the CEO of Facebook and how they've handled numerous situations that just, in my opinion, went over very poorly. So will I give them my time in VR? No, I won't. I'm just gonna stay far away from it. I don't trust them. But what do you think of it? Let me know down below in the comments. I did see one thought that it's essentially Mark Zuckerberg is trying to create Second Life, but in VR, and that's what this whole Meta rebranding is about. But I can tell you one game I do want to play in VR. That's a lie. I've lied to you twice in segues today. Prince of Persia Remastered, getting delayed yet again. It was originally supposed to come out January 2021, but in case you remember, the trailer for the remaster essentially looked like a PS3 game. It looked like absolute anus and something that was supposed to come out when the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles were out and about. It seems like this game is likely going to get delayed until 2023 because remastering is harder than people thought, I guess. Amazon Prime, however, making it easy for you to get free video games with their Prime Gaming November edition, giving you tons of great games such as Control Ultimate Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, as well as Dragon Age Inquisition, which you can start claiming as of Monday, November 1st. And what you can claim if you get one of these new rumored Epic Turin 7001 chips is that you have more power consumption in your chip than most people have in their GPU. 600 watts is expected to be the max TDP of the upcoming rumored Epic chips, which is just going to be absolutely bananas. But I can guarantee you that Intel's Supercomputer, which just got announced, is probably going to consume a bit more than 600 watts. The Aurora supercomputer is now going to have 2 exaflops, 2.43 exaflops of peak computational power, which is just, it's super. This is a super computer. And this was a super week of hot news. You can go check out yesterday's episode of Hot News where we cover Intel's Alder Lake announcement, and I will see you tomorrow for breakfast to cover this week in news, to go over anything that you may have missed over the course of the week. And I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. Cheers.